What if I told you that the brain of a child who grew up with trauma can look strikingly similar to the brain of a soldier returning from war? Let that sink in. No battlefield, no explosions, and no guns. Just a child in a home that never felt safe. Because for the brain, a war zone isn't about the place, it's the experience. And years later, that same child grows up and wonders, why am I always on edge? Why can't I relax? Why do I shut down or freeze when I get overwhelmed? Why do I have pain, anxiety, and other unexplained chronic symptoms? If this is your story too, please hear me out. Your brain is not broken. It had to adapt. It rewired itself to help you survive because that is what human brains do. A major research review from Harvard found that childhood trauma causes long lasting changes in both the structure and chemistry of the brain. Now, we are talking about real measurable differences in brain regions like the prefrontal cortex, which is key in decision making and emotion regulation, the amygdala, which is the fear and threat detection center, the hippocampus, which is important for learning and memory, and also the stress response system, like the HPA axis and cortisol regulation. These parts of the brain change after childhood trauma. And guess what? These are some of the same regions that change in the brains of soldiers after active duty. Because prolonged stress, whether from bombs or from an unsafe home environment, it activates the same survival circuits. To your brain, stress is stress. But there's one massive difference that makes the childhood stress hit the brain harder. A soldier's brain is fully developed when they go to war, but a child's brain is still developing. The structure, the wiring, it's still all under construction. And if trauma happens while the brain is in this vulnerable state, that trauma gets built into the architecture. It doesn't just create a reaction, it creates a blueprint. The brain wires itself around survival. It learns the world is dangerous. I must stay alert at all times if I want to survive. Now, in a healthy nervous system, the survival system turns on when there is danger and off when the danger is gone. But in a traumatized brain, that alarm stays stuck in the on position. The body gets flooded with stress hormones, and the brain and body live in survival mode, not for minutes, not for hours, but for years. Chronic survival response is at the root of nervous system dysregulation and many mental and physical health problems. Anxiety, depression, OCD, PTSD, chronic pain, fatigue, gut issues, hormone imbalances, immune dysfunction, autoimmunity, sensory sensitivities, brain fog, it's all connected. Now, if this is hitting you hard, take a deep breath because there's good news. These changes may have happened decades ago, but they are not set in stone. The brain is plastic, it can relearn and rewire itself. There are many science based tools to help with this now: nervous system regulation practices, brain retraining techniques, somatic healing, and so much more. And look, I'm not pretending this work is easy, but I can tell you it is the most life changing and rewarding work you'll ever do. Because when you have lived with a traumatized brain your whole life, that level of internal chaos and pain becomes your baseline. It becomes your normal. It's like the frog in boiling water analogy. If you put a frog in a pot of boiling water, it's going to jump out immediately. But if you put the frog in room temperature water and slowly raise the temperature, the frog will stay in the pot. It never realizes it's slowly being cooked. You are that frog being slowly cooked. You have no idea how hot your life really is. If you put 10 other people into the same boiling water you have been living in, the same level of mental and physical agony, they will all scream and run. But as a child, you could not run. You had to stay and survive all by yourself. And that came at a cost. Your brain had to learn to stay alert all the time. But now it's time to teach it how to live and thrive, not just survive. Trauma is not your fault. You didn't choose it, you didn't cause it. But healing from it, only you can choose it for yourself.